There you go. I was like, which button is it?
Almost did a different button.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's up, Simps Pimps?
What's that happening?
We're here for the 8th time, y'all.
8 episodes, damn. We should do something fun for our 10th episode.
Ooh, yeah, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I know Brian wanted to talk about something today.
Today we're starting on insecurities about me. And what I'm very insecure is about my hair.
All right, elaborate.
So, like, talk to us about your hair, bro. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Right on, Kaylee. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, God. My ears are bleeding.
You just wish you had, like, surfer hair, bro, or what?
Yeah, I can't grow surfer hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the flow?
I want the flow, but I can't get the flow. You know?
Oh, my Lord.
I'm trying to flow, but the flow ain't flowing.
Fuck, man. Fuck you guys and your long ass hair with your fucking non-thinning hair. Like, fuck you. But then again, okay, so I honestly wanted to ask, obviously, what's your biggest physical insecurity, right? Because to be honest, it does have to do with my hair. What's happening is that it actually started very early. I was in middle school when I first noticed it. I was spiking up my hair into like this like Shark Boy feel, right? I don't know Shark Boy Little Girl if you guys know the movie, right?
Oh, I know.
So yeah. So I was like, oh, let me be Shark Boy real quick.
I love sharks.
Right? And then I'm spiking up my hair, and then I'm like, doesn't look like I have so much hair. I can't really spike so much of it, right? And because I was like, you could literally see like my scalp and all that. And I'm just like, man, I wish I had, like really thick, luscious hair, but I don't. So from there on, that's where that kind of insecurity built up of like the thinness and all that. And this year alone, I actually decided to start doing something about it. And so I started taking pills, and I started doing like the whole fucking whatever drips on the head. And I've been doing it for like almost a month and a half to 2, which is like it's actually stopped a lot of like the hair loss with the shampooing, the products that they have.
Did you really lose that much hair, though?
It may not be noticeable, but it's like when you pay attention too much to it, you kind of notice every little little thing about it.
I don't think you have bad hair at all.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
No, I don't think so.
But it's more just like for myself, you know what I mean?
That's the thing with insecurities. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
I never would have known you were insecure about your hair because I think you have great hair.
Shit.
You know?
Say less.
Do you think you feel like that every day? Like when you look in the mirror?
Oh, that's a good ass question.
You know?
Yeah. So it's basically just looking at myself in the mirror when you're just styling it that you kind of get that little bit of insecurity hit.
Yeah.
You know? So I mean.
Do you avoid looking in the mirror?
I don't avoid looking in the mirror.
Do you think you look at the mirror too hard? Because I know I do. I have the opposite part where they have a hard time like taking photos or like looking in mirrors and stuff like that.
You
but
overanalyze?
But for me, it's like I could sit in front of a mirror and hours and just like pick at like things.
I'm super insecure most of the time for photos because I'm like, damn, how does my hair look at that point?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just like, because, you want it to be at a certain look or this and that.
Yeah,
or,
totally.
And I'm just like, fuck. And it doesn't help that I'm also head spinning on it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm fucking spinning on my damn head.
At least it's an insecurity that you can do something about.
Yeah, fuck these insecurities, though, they limit us, whatever. I guess moving forward, because, fuck my shit, I'm more interested to know what your guys' shit is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My biggest insecurity is, like, my smile. Not necessarily my teeth, but just the way I smile. Like, when I laugh, I cover my mouth, and I will duck face it or stick my tongue out. Like, I just avoid smiling, because I just feel like I look so ugly when I smile.
That's so odd, though, because you have, like, perfect teeth, by the way.
Yeah, you have great teeth, nice lips, like.
Yeah.
So what is it about
luscious
it?
lips.
Yeah. So what is it like? Well, because some people like small lips, and sometimes that can like make your smile look weird, But so what is it like about it when you smile that you don't like?
It's probably the
look?
act of smiling. I don't know. It doesn't feel natural when I smile.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
To the point where I feel like I almost avoid.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it just makes me feel worse.
Have you ever, like genuinely, like, laughed and, like, taken a picture of yourself, like,
Hell
laughing?
no.
Oh my god, I would die. I would never want to see what that looks
Exactly.
like.
Isn't that crazy?
That's what I
because
mean.
it's like, but it's like, it exposes your true self and it makes you kind of a little more comfortable with, like.
But I am working on smiling in, like, pictures more and just
Yes.
trying not to, like, So it's like I am doing something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my
So-
biggest like insecurity is my weight. I don't know. I feel like that's such a common thing, but that's such
But it's a real thing.
But it's a real thing. It's a
Yeah.
real thing for me. I feel like I don't know if it's like some kind of body dysmorphia or if it's just me feeling like big. Like I've always had friends that are like super small, really tiny, all the things, and it just feels like I'm just awkward and big. Obviously, I don't think I look awkward and big, but that's how I
Yeah.
feel sometimes. Like sometimes I'm just so uncomfortable. I also noticed too that like my because I've been losing weight, which is super awesome. I'm still on my weight loss journey, and I'm so beyond proud of myself because I just never even thought. Even though I'm at a halfway point of where my goal is, I just never thought I would even get to the halfway point.
For real.
I literally thought I was like stuck, and I was just like, this is the way my body is now. I don't know what to do. I feel like I've tried everything. I would even be good looking like this for the rest of my life just because I don't ever want to feel like how I did. But even like just getting dressed in the morning or like picking out clothes, I know sometimes I can be kind of annoying with like what I wear or like if we go out, like how I look a certain way. But it's because if things don't lay on me right or if it doesn't look right, I feel huge and I feel uncomfortable.
Which
And
makes
Oh,
sense.
wow.
It's an insecurity. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like even just the way like certain things will hit on me, like I can look at a piece of clothing and be like, no, I will not wear that because I don't like the way it lays. But also now that I have lost weight, I've been wearing, tighter clothes and all the things and I feel so good about it. But even
yeah.
when I do wear my tighter clothes, I'm like, okay, but I do need what underwear I wear with things. Because
Wow.
certain underwear will change the way that my body looks in certain clothing, and it's insane.
Wow.
Like if I'm wearing a certain like tighter underwear,
Details.
yeah, like literally if I wear a certain kind of underwear with a dress, and I'm like, no, that makes me look fatter than the other pair of underwear.
That's crazy.
Like so, it's like it really goes down so deep, and so that's why sometimes it's like. Sorry if I'm annoying that I have to feel really good before I go out, but it's like if I go out and I feel like shit.
Look good, feel good.
Yeah, like I will not be having a good day. Like I
Yeah.
will not have fun. I'll just feel uncomfortable and weird and I just won't feel good.
What I really like about all of our insecurities is we're doing something about it. But on
Yeah.
that topic, what's something about you that you don't like that you're unable to change?
Like being like around like maybe my brother's height, when he's like about like 5'7". I feel like that would have been perfect. He talks about how all the women are basically either a little bit shorter than him or just as tall as him, and so it's like the perfect kind of like area to be. Since I'm so low here, if I changed my height, I would be a completely different person.
I feel like it wouldn't fit you though.
If
Yeah.
it's the personality that you're small, yeah.
Yeah. Not because your personality is small,
Yeah.
but it's just because
Yeah.
it's just like that's Brian, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like,
I know most girls like taller guys, but with us, like, as long as you're taller than us.
I'm not super picky on height at all. I guess something that sometimes I get insecure about, but not really. I just wish it wasn't there, and it's something that I can't really control. Is the scar on my knee for my ACL. I've always really admired my legs, and I've loved my legs. I feel like my legs are just so like they've always just been really nice, and I
Yeah.
really like them. And then after I had my surgery, that was something where I was like, I have a couple scars, and then I have a couple incisions on my knee, and then I have this long one like right underneath my kneecap. And like sometimes even when I'm like really tan, it gets like even more noticeable, you know? And so sometimes it's like
Which I haven't noticed, by the way.
really,
That's
yeah,
wild, yeah.
right.
Isn't that
So,
wild? Like
yeah.
I did not even know you had a scar down there.
Yeah.
Like holy shit.
I think you brought out mine, scars on my body. That's something that I hate. When I walk, I got so used to putting my hands like in front of my legs instead of to the side. And it's like obviously it's a touchy subject. Like even at the nail salon today, and she grabbed my arm and she was like, "What happened?"
Like why would somebody even ask that? You know?
Like
I feel
some
like
people, I feel like they genuinely don't know. But oh my god, I'm gonna start crying. Okay, sorry.
oh, that's okay.
I don't like crying.
I know.
It's just because it's something that I'm still struggling with. Like I'm not like cutting and stuff anymore, but I'm like clawing at myself really hard, and I just don't know why I've been doing that lately.
Yeah. I've cried on the fucking podcast
I
within the
know.
first half second, you know? It's okay.
I just feel like before it was fine because it's like, oh, it's something I did when I was younger and when I was going through a hard time. But now, like, when people ask about it, knowing that I'm starting to get to the, like, a place where I'm doing it again, like, it's just really hard.
Yeah.
Because before it was like, oh, that's something I used to do. And now it's like something I'm starting to do again.
Yeah.
But because of that insecurity, I'm not actually, like, breaking skin and doing that. Like, clawing
Yeah.
myself isn't good, you know? But
Right.
it's still something that I'm doing because, like, I just need to inflict pain right now. And I don't like that about myself.
Yeah. It's all internal things, you know?
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You just
Plus-
got to find what's the cause and what's the trigger. And
Yeah, just remembering that you're not that same person anymore. You
Like,
know,
I just thought I grew out of it, you know?
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, if you really
It's
think
tough,
about it,
too.
everybody fucking self-harms in some kind of way.
yeah,
Even self-harming can be like binging and overeating.
self-sabotaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff
100%.
like that, for
You know,
sure.
sometimes even when I'm feeling over emotional and overwhelming, I go back to places where I will literally just sit there and binge eat until I feel fucking sick. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why do I do this to
Yeah.
myself? You know, so it's like, yeah, it's really dark, you know, but I think at the same time, a lot of people do, you know, self-harm in some kind of way, you know, so you're not alone in that.
It just sucks because I feel like things like that is, you know, teenagers and, oh, they're just trying to get attention. And I just hate the fact that I could be like, I turned 24 in a couple weeks and I'm still clawing at myself, like trying to hurt myself. Like, I just feel like that's so dumb.
I don't think it's dumb.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I just don't know how to regulate my emotions sometimes. And that's like what I go to because that's what I used to do, you know?
Right.
You're in a position where you understand it much more. It's much more depth. I feel like the next time that happens, you know, you try to catch yourself. It's just little steps trying to get just a little bit better, but
And I feel like it was so
Yeah.
embarrassing too, because that's something that
No.
I've been doing, like, you know, behind closed doors, do it to myself. It's to the point where it goes away really fast so people don't question it. But it's like you saw it on me once, and that was so embarrassing to me.
that was none.
It's okay.
I'm like, I'm working on it, but I just kind of don't know how to stop.
Gotcha. That's a tough one, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think you just kind of, I don't know. I understand what Brian's saying though, where it's like just trying to become more self-aware when it is happening, you know, and just maybe like taking a second, even though that is hard to do
It's
because you're so
insanely
overwhelmed
hard.
with emotion,
Yeah.
you know?
toughest thing anybody can do.
Yeah.
with-
Or maybe even having something around to remind you, or I don't know, be able to do something to. It's okay.
You are very brave. You are very brave.
Sharing
You're,
real
you're a
shit.
survivor for real.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's real shit.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks that, but at the same time, a lot of people can really relate to that.
I just feel like I've been this girl who cries wolf for so long that now I'm like, I just don't want people to know.
No, I mean,
Because I feel like I've been told so many times, like, either you cut for attention, or you're just doing this to be center of attention, or, like, you're doing this, you don't get your way, or, like, things like that, to the point where I'm like, I just don't want anyone to know anymore, because I don't want it to be, like, all about me, or, oh, there she goes again, like, she's still the same, or, you know, like, I just want to shut myself out.
But also not reaching out to people and not letting them know, you know, that's only going to make the situation worse.
I feel like you got to understand that maybe you're just kind of spouting it to the wrong crowd.
That's
you know,
true.
the people who really care about you. I mean, not to say that the people weren't caring about you, because sometimes you get to a point where you're just it gets very overwhelming, not just for yourself, but for that other person. So, but at the same time, it's like the people who are going to be there for you will be there for you.
Yeah.
And so,
100%.
Every time I attempted suicide or tried to, like, hurt myself, like, the first few times they're like, oh my god, it's serious. But then it got to a point where, like, oh, she does that all the time. It's not a big deal. I did it so often to the point where people just got used to it. Like, that's embarrassing. That's why I'm like,
that's pretty wild. I don't know how anybody can be desensitized over someone
Yeah.
attempting that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah. It is sad.
I'm
I
sorry
just
about
hate that. It's like I've tried so many times to the point where people are just, like, numb to it now.
I feel like it used to be such an emotional reaction because I didn't know how to internalize it when it was happening to you.
Yeah.
But now I'm able to look at it as in a way of being like, okay, how are we going to get you better? How are we going to stop you to do this? How are we
Yeah.
going to better the situation rather than coming from it as an emotional perspective because you're already feeling all the emotions of it, you know? So I
Yeah.
feel like it's like
I need someone level-headed to
Exactly.
be like,
right, exactly.
real.
So it's like
To
I
really
think
be
a lot
there.
of the time it's not, at least from my perspective, is I know it's hard for me to get emotional when you are going through things like that because I'm just trying to think of like, okay, I need to take my emotions out of it. Like, how do I help this person, or what can I say? What can I do? What could be a plan? What could, you know, what can?
I mean, I don't think you take emotion out of it. I feel like every time I have, you are very like, yes, what do we do about it? But I still
Right.
feel like you're very like, why
Yeah,
you do
they-
that?
Right.
There's still,
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like you still have that comfort and
Right.
emotion still with it,
Yeah.
yeah,
but with that logical sense of like, all right, let's take care of it.
Yeah.
Like, actually, you know,
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
very,
just
you're very good at that.
like
for
other
sure.
people in my past and stuff just made me feel a certain way. And
yeah. And so when it does happen, it like almost triggers those thoughts of what they said,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's-
So
And I know it's a very old habit of mine to like not tell people what I'm going through, but it's like, I don't know, like I just don't want to bother you guys.
No. You either ask for help or, you know, you suffer in silence, and I would rather you ask for help because suffering in silence is never the way to do anything.
Yeah, I know.
It's not.
I'm just like, I don't know, you guys have your own lives going on, you know? I'm like, it's like, oh, there Katie goes again.
But I feel like our life will go on regardless, you know. So it's like
Right.
it's like we want you in our lives. We want you to be happy as well.
I just feel like I'm
You're
always
involved
this
with this.
ticking time bomb. Like, always. It's like, when's the next thing gonna happen where she freaks the fuck out?
I think that's you're overthinking.
I definitely overthink. That's something
yeah.
that I
Yeah.
would like to change that I can't.
Yeah.
I
Right.
guess you
The
can't
mental?
change everything.
Right.
I would like to change my mental health, please.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if that was gone, it would just, I would be perfect.
Well, kind of, but you also wouldn't be you.
Yep.
You know, and I feel like that's what really makes us a person. The reasons why they are the way that they are. I feel like you can empathize and show emotion just because you've been there. You know what I mean?
Like, I can empathize and be there for other people, but when it comes to me, I feel like I've spent my whole life already being like, help me, help me, help me, that now I'm just like, I don't want anyone to know when I'm sad anymore. And I know that's unhealthy, like, I know that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I do it because I don't want to burden you guys, not so much like,
It's not a burden.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
tired,
not a burden.
just tired of being a fucking burden.
It's not a burden if they care.
Yeah.
And we care. So you're not a burden.
Not a burden at all.
You're just a cancer, okay? I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to justify it. You're just
emotional
Yes.
crybaby all the fucking time. Ugh. I did not expect myself to cry today.
It's okay to cry.
I mean, in front of people, I've been crying a lot lately, but
Crying in front of people is good because it's being vulnerable and it's being real, you know?
like, I just feel like you guys have just been so, like, she's been doing really good, like, she's fine, and really, I'm just like, I'm melting.
Yeah. It's okay. I learned that crying actually releases, what is it? It's like endorphins or something like that. Like, you actually, like, become happier after you cry because it's releasing energy.
I usually release it to myself, but now there's two people in the room, like, fuck.
It's okay. It's okay. You act like I've never seen you cry before.
I know, but I don't, like, I
All
don't
of us have seen
know.
each other
It's
cry.
the feeling, yeah, right?
Yeah.
We've all
It's
cried
like,
in
but
front
it's
of
like
each other.
I've cried in front of you a billion times, so it's like I don't know what's changed recently to where it just like, you know, like I don't want anyone to see me cry.
Right. That's okay.
Like you both have seen me cry a billion times, but I don't
Yeah.
know recently what's so different. Like I feel like I just created this image where I'm like,
Yeah.
new job, out of this relationship, she's doing good, and I just wanted to keep that streak, I guess. Like I don't know.
You should still be vulnerable to both. To us, for
I
sure.
know.
No. We're all each other's peeps. We all got each other. Just me and Brian solve everything with water.
I know.
Just know you will at least be hydrated.
You will be hydrated around me and Brian.
As fuck.
Oh my god. These two. I'm on the edge of a bridge about to jump. Do you want some water?
We have the
Water is
megaphone.
therapeutic.
We have the megaphone. Don't do it. Drink some water.
Drink some water, relax, breathe, think about
Kaylee's
it.
stopping traffic. Like, hold on, she needs some water.
Go get her some water.
It's not something that I accept, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, I always fight myself every day trying to change my mental health. And the thing is, I know it's never going to go away. I know there are going to be good days and bad days, and I know it's going to be more maintained and better, but I don't, like, I'm very in denial about it. I'm just like, maybe I'm just going through a hard time in life right now, 24 years later. I'm just still going through it.
Yeah.
It's just a bad time right now. Like, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And alcohol doesn't help.
Yeah,
the
I was
situation.
gonna say, I was like, you were drinking. I'm sure you were drinking yesterday, and that's
Like, I've been on a bender. There's the clawing, there's the alcohol, there's like...
Missing your meds too.
Yeah, like,
That's
I missed a day
wild.
completely, and I swear I took it. Like, I swear, I remember taking it, I swear. And then I looked in the little pill thing, and it was still there, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And that made me notice all the other pills, and there was 2 in some of them and 1 in some of them, and all my dosages, like, I was putting them in, but it was going in the wrong pockets because I was doing it so fast or in the dark or something. And like, my chemical imbalance in my brain is very, very imbalanced right now, and
yeah.
I think I've been manic, and I had no idea that I was manic. Like, spending a lot of money and driving all crazy and reckless and going out and just, you know, because I'm so used to having those depressive episodes, but recently I've been very, very fucking manic. So, what about you guys?
So what's happening with y'all? The nurture of not having a mom is probably still to this day, because it's like sometimes I can't really get in touch with my own emotions. You know, I feel like sometimes I like try my best to put myself in someone's shoes, but I really can't.
So the opposite of me.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Right.
so it's almost like I become like almost detached.
You
Yeah.
both are detachers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I'm literally the same. I was
Yeah,
like,
and
it literally, sometimes it feels like, not in a psychopath way, but it does feel like I can just like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I can feel it, where it's just like,
Yeah.
I literally feel nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just like a wild shit, because I'm just like, I want to be present in the emotions you're feeling right now. I want to give love and show you that I care, but it's almost like
It almost feels like you're
can't.
pulling teeth. I feel it on the inside, but to actually like get me to say it and to express it and to show it is really hard.
Yeah, I basically had to like take care of my brother. I would, like be there for him, and I would talk to him, but it would be like physical, like hug him, or
Right.
obviously hold him to the shoulder or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I kind of like learned more just like the physical. It's almost very hard for me to like speak for
See,
some
it's
shit.
interesting to me that you guys are both like, it's really hard for me with emotions, but then I'm like a waterfall, and you guys are like, talk to me, come to me, but I'm like, yeah, but you guys don't want to hear it.
No,
but
it's
we
not
want
that
it.
we don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
It's just that it's
I
hard
don't
for
think
us to
that's-
be able to express how we feel. Like,
About me being a waterfall?
no, it's like it's
No.
hard to like express the emotion that we're feeling in words. I feel like, at least for me, that's
Yeah.
how it feels. It's like I feel like I can feel everything on the inside, but I'm like, oh my god, this is the saddest shit I've ever seen. What I say on the outside. Do you need some water? What do you want me
Exactly,
to do?
yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't put it into words.
And it's like, obviously, I know that you guys care and stuff. It's just, like, again, it's just like not wanting to bug you. And that's a traumatizing thing that happened that still affects me today. Like, being told that.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
exactly what it is, or
And
attention,
it's just so
or.
ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Like that should not be something you say to somebody.
they don't understand.
Yeah.
Or they don't even really take the time to understand. I've never felt that way. I don't understand those feelings. I'm not going to even try to understand it, so
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
get it.
But also, I feel like that's asking too much of someone to be like, well, try to understand me. Try to understand why I'm like this. That's why I feel like I just shut down and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
I guess like traumatic things is I have a lot of like trust issues with people. Like that is something
Oh.
that I wish that I could like really like it's really really hard for me, and I don't even really know much of where it stemmed from, but I could be so close to somebody and I'm like, everyone's out to get
Yeah.
me, everyone's lying to me. I'm trying to work on it, and I'm trying to just be like, if you've given me no reason to not believe you, I'm going to believe you,
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to look at things like that and really trying to heal that part of myself, but there's like it's that overthinking, and I think a lot of it is caused from anxiety. I know I need to be on some kind of anxiety medication, but even trying to go and get that figured out is also traumatizing to me, because that means I have to sit there and I have to try to express to a complete stranger who I
Yep.
feel like I already don't trust, because I feel like they're not even going to
Damn.
listen to me.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
to
It's
sit
Like,
there
how can I
and
trust you when I can't even trust you?
and then also on top of it, I can't express how I'm feeling on the outside, so I just feel like I'll just sit there and be embarrassed. And feeling embarrassed is my biggest, like, I hate feeling that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's something that I'm just avoiding, but I'm
Yeah.
trying. I can feel when people just up and leave emotionally. I can feel when friends just push me away. But I also have seen it happen to me so many times that I just kind of expect it.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, yeah, I kind of feel like you're not going to be around for long, or, oh, I kind of noticed this, or, oh, I noticed that,
Damn.
I haven't been through a lot of traumatic things in my life, but I feel like I've been done wrong by a lot of people.
Do you feel like you look into things too deep, though, because you feel like it's expected for them to do you wrong?
I always feel like someone's like attacking me. Even if something is said like out of line, I instantly become defensive, and I know that
Oh.
about myself, and that's something I
see.
really try to work on, but it's just like,
It's a trauma response.
yeah, I'm just
I
like,
feel that. The reason why I was like a pretty mad child
Let's get into Brian's mental.
is obviously like looking back at the other episodes where I was talking about like beating obviously my brother. Initially, what my response would be like either I would get embarrassed or they would kind of like defy me or something like that. I would just
Yeah.
get mad. I would just get
Right.
really like aggressive and shit. Obviously, I worked on it with just take time for yourself and to like just self-analyze, because not a lot of people take even just 15 minutes of just being able to just like think about shit that's happening.
Right.
It's so needed, and
Yeah.
and so it's like helped me out, a
Yeah.
bunch.
I feel like I have a lot of patience, but I feel like a lot of it comes from being like, no one's got my back, so I'm just gonna have my back. Because I feel
Oh,
like I've
shit.
just been put in a lot of situations where I'm like, why didn't anyone say anything? Why didn't anyone stick up for me? Why didn't, like, anyone say something, you know, like, have my back, you know? I feel like that's something that is very traumatizing to me, so I feel like sometimes I can come off as very, like, aggressive and very, like, whatever, because it's like, at the end of the day, I've got myself, because I've been shown time and again, like, no one's gonna have my back like that, you know? Like, the way I can have my back for myself, and I feel like there's been a lot of times where I just, like, this is just a fucking crying episode.
I know.
But,
oh, shit.
even just sitting here trying to explain how I feel on the inside, I feel like I can't even fully express it. Like how we were talking earlier, you know, it's tough. I feel like I can't even get it into actual words.
It almost hurts trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
Hence why I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's because it's so tough to even just sometimes just lay out these emotions, because since you don't know how to express them, they just come out, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah. Also, with, like, my past relationship, I feel like I also have this other sense of, like, if I feel like something's wrong, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna stick, like, my ground, and I'm gonna be honest with it, because I feel like a lot of the time I didn't do that, and I just would shove things under the rug and just be like, oh, it's whatever, it's fine. It's like, I feel how I feel, you know? And it's okay to feel like that, because I feel like a lot of the times it can just kind of, or I've been told that it's like, oh, you're being over dramatic, you're overthinking it, you're over this, you're over that. And it's like, no, but that's how I feel about it, though, you know? Yeah. And that's how I processed the emotion, and that's how I felt. Ooh, what's something that others have made fun of you for? Did it linger, or did you brush it off?
I was like, let's say 6th grade. Everyone is kind of around the same height. I found love in basketball when I was like late 5th grade. You know, I had this like teacher who's one of my coaches. He would always like cheer me on, you know, he'd be like, yes, you got this, boom, right? It felt like a dad that I just didn't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
This dude was like 6'5".
Right.
Complete opposite. He is not my dad. You know what I mean?
He's not my dad.
He is not my dad.
Did not get his genetics.
You know what I mean? But he was all about basketball, and he saw like how much like passion and how much I was like spending time in it, and you know, he really admired it. Because when I was like in 5th grade, I was, you know, like everyone was around that same kind of, and so I was like perfect, you know, like I found my sport. I love this thing. So, you know, I would be practicing day in and day out, you know, just like fucking shooting hoops with my brother. The time came when finally people were hitting the growth spurt. I was like, soon me, right? Soon me. I grew an inch or two. So I was like 5 foot, 5'2". You know what I mean? And I'm like, my growth spurt.
You did all your growing in the beginning.
Yeah.
You're just ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, right?
There you go.
Yeah. And I let my height take away my dream.
Aw.
So I wanted to become a really, really good basketball player.
Yeah.
Because the love and passion that I had with it, like I would spend every day hooping.
Yeah.
Every day just fucking thinking about it. All people would tell me was like, you're just not going to make it because of your height.
No.
They just don't think that you're going to be good enough.
Yeah.
You got people who are just like 6 foot 6'5" that are just like blocking me like wherever I go. I basically just let that get to me. I just wish I had someone to tell me that I could do it. And that's why it's hard for me to just reach out and like get into touch with my emotions, because it's like felt like no one was there. That's probably like the one thing that I always think about and regret. That's why I do dancing, because I found something that it doesn't matter your height, it doesn't matter anything. What matters is how much effort you put into it.
Yeah.
And if I would have realized that, who knows what I could have done.
Yeah.
But hey, you are a good ass dancer now, and you found that for a reason instead.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. But I know what you're saying, where it's just like, fuck, I wish I wouldn't have listened to people and just followed what I wanted to do and just said, fuck them, you know? Yeah, that's real.
That's how I feel about, like, my Asian background and culture and stuff, because I abandoned that when I was really young. Because bullies in school and that type of thing, like, I got, like, panda dumped on my head and was like, you eat it, you're Asian. And from there forward, I'm like, I'm not speaking the language. I'm like, I'm not a Viet person. I'm not. Like, I hella regret that. I wish I would be like, well, I can speak 2 languages and you can barely speak 1, you know? Or it's like, my food tastes better than yours. Like, discover salt and pepper, you know? Like,
right.
like, I wish that's something that I stuck with, because it was also hard because it was during the time that was, like, finding out my dad was really sick. So being at the mall with my mom and dad in public and being like, I don't know you, like walk away from me, like, you're not my parents, and just being super, like who does that? Like, I got panda dumped on my head because I'm Asian. I'm like, I'm not even Chinese. Like, fuck off.
Right.
Even if I was, like...
You're like, if you're gonna be racist, be...
racist correctly.
Yeah, correctly.
Dump some pho on my head or something, you idiot.
Yeah.
God, hey, that would have been bad though. That bitch is hot. It
Like, if you're gonna be racist, know your cultures.
would have been like Shoto.
Literally. But yeah, that's something that I wish I was just like, you know what, fuck you,
Yeah.
embrace it, because I'm trying so hard to embrace it now, and I understand it, and I know words. I probably can speak it if I wanted to, but I can't get myself to, because I'm still somewhat embarrassed when I shouldn't be.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of tried to avoid a lot of my Hispanic people too, because people would just be like, you're not even supposed to be here.
Damn.
Like, you know? Cause
Dude,
it's like,
people are fucked up. Dude,
Yeah.
kids are wild too.
yeah.
You know, I'm white, but I'm not that kind of white. Okay.
Like, holy shit. And the thing
Like,
is, I had white friends growing up. I was like, fuck the Asian group. And then the nice thing, though, is once I got older, I started hanging out with that same Asian group that I knew in middle school that I was, like, avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
But then they became the homies. And I'm like, bro, I was like, you guys been tight like this since you were younger? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish I was around, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're the cool kids that
Same-
don't
same
involve
with my
me in
culture,
shit.
too.
And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Let me in.
I think something that traumatized me when I was younger was I feel like I was made fun of a lot when I was younger just for being weird and for being different and whatever. But I think even really this past year, I feel like I've just decided to say, like, I don't give a fuck if you think it's weird. This is me. I was like, I don't care
yeah.
if I'm weird. That's such an Aquarius thing to say. But it's like, I don't care if people think it's weird that I'm super girly. I don't care if people think it's weird that I want to wear a Hello Kitty shirt at 24 or 23. You know, I'm like, I genuinely don't. I feel like I used to listen to that so much and be like, what are they wearing? What are they doing? What are they like? I was so focused on trying to fit in for so long because
Yeah.
I always felt alienated. I always felt out. I always felt out of place everywhere. No, because you always felt alienated because you were trying to be somebody you were not.
Amen.
You know, when you're actually yourself and you're actually your own person and who you are as an individual, those people will come to you. You know, like
Yes.
once
Yep,
you start
facts.
being your authentic self, you will find people who will appreciate it, and you will be surrounded by those kinds of people, and those are the kinds of people I want to be surrounded by. You know, I want
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
surrounded by people who
Exactly.
Accept
feel good
you.
and accept
Yeah.
me. And I felt like for a long time, I didn't even know who I was because I was always trying to be like this person or that person, or it's like
Yeah.
oh, they're so pretty and cool and I really like their style. And I think there's nothing wrong with looking at somebody and being like, I want to have that vibe too, or like I like
Like inspired.
yeah,
or like,
to
yeah.
be inspired,
exactly.
right? To be inspired. I think that's like such a cool thing. But I think I was taking it to the point where it was like I'd write down like what Sharpay would wear or like
Oh,
those
yeah.
things, you know? And it's like I felt like I was kind of doing that to people that I would see, but I never knew who I was and what I liked. But I always knew,
Wow.
but I felt like I couldn't express it because the people around me weren't gonna like accept it.
Okay, so if you could be a character in a TV show or movie, what would it be?
Oh God, who would I be? I don't know.
And are they similar to how you are in real
Yeah.
life now?
I would probably just be some fucking hyper girly girl. And yes, that is
From
me now.
Totally Spies.
Totally Spies? Yeah, that's you, 100%.
I don't think I watched that.
Oh my God.
Why have you watched that?
Don't worry about
Is
this.
it a cartoon or?
They're like spies, but they're like super feminine. Like, it's not like laser cutting down the door. It's, oh, lipstick, boom, laser cutting down the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool
What?
shit.
It's pretty
It's cool
fucking
shit.
cool.
It's cool
Oh
shit.
my God, okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch an episode tonight before bed. Because I will find my other weirdos and we will all be weirdos together.
And then we'll make a podcast and call it Simps Pimps.
Yep.
We are your minions.
Right?
I feel like I tried to embrace my crazy because
Yeah.
of Azula from Avatar.
Oh, that is a pretty good one.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's me. I'm hyper emotional, just like super sensitive to things and just like blasting things on fire because I'm mad. So
Gotcha.
I'm thinking of characters that I liked when I was younger that I was like, I want to be that, and it like incorporated the way like I am now.
I think
Like-
Sharpay was the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can, like childhood, boom, like Sharpay, 100%. Yeah.
And it's like Teen Titans, like Raven and like Sapphire, stuff like that. That's probably where the love of crop tops came into play.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably why I fucking
Straight
dress like that.
Crop top.
And even with like Raven, it's like, oh my god, she's covered and she's dark and she's in a dark room. But when you take the like the cloak thing off, it's like, why you still dress like that? You know, like
Why you still? I wish I could be like Samurai Jack. You tell me this motherfucker got sent to the future, who's just like this badass dude who's fighting like, cyborgs or things like that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
it's fucking.
You don't fight these things in real life?
Nah.
No?
Not at all.
Out there with your sword.
God, I wish.
Yeah.
If only.
You're not teleporting places?
Nope.
No?
And
Are
this
you
guy's
sure?
this guy's ripped. God, man. I wish I was. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I could be anybody, Samurai Jack for sure.
All right.
But I think the one I can most like resonate with, like personality wise, I know Asta from Black Clover. He's like amped about everything, gives it all. It's so basically to give you kind of a storyline of what Black Clover is. He lives in a world where people are like classified of how much magical power you have in something, and so
Okay.
he lives in a life where it's based off of magic, and this guy has no magic.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I don't need magic. I'm gonna train my physical body instead. And so this guy's just fucking going
okay.
at it. All of a sudden, he gets basically like this power that negates magic. He gets he. So it's like you live in a world where it's basically straight only power,
Okay.
like magic. But this guy is like the complete. Like he can
He
negate your
leveled
magic.
he
can
leveled
ne-
up so hard that he could take the magic
Yeah,
around
he
him.
basically
Yeah.
negates the magic.
Damn.
And so it's like.
That's wild.
And so I'm like, bro, this guy's
That is next level.
because this guy is actually like really small too.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just like, I compare myself to this fool because he's like really hyper, upbeat. He always tries to make friends, things like that. And on top of it, he's like small. So it's like, yeah, it's perfect.
I think growing up too, like Trixie from Fairly Odd Parents was a big one. Like Miss Popularity
Oh,
and
shit.
turning guys down and, that whole thing. I feel like I was very much like,
Yeah.
like I want to be the popular. I want people to look at me like that and drool over me and hand things to me. But I remember there was an episode where Timmy's all of a sudden really fucking cool now. And she was like, oh my God, he's so cool. But then he became lame again. And she was like, now I just don't like you anymore. Sorry. And I'm just like, well, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
But I was like that when I was younger.
Wow.
I don't think you were there, but I know you were there when Trevor was talking to me about things. And I was like, Trevor, I've been there since day one. And he was like, no, at one point you became Miss Popular and forgot all about me. And I was just like, damn. I was like, hey, but I came back, though. Love Trevor. Shout out Mr. Strong.
Shout out Mr. Strong.
We love Trevor.
Yes.
Trevor's funny.
He's cool.
I think I resonated a little too hard with Trixie. I don't want to be like Trixie.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about our trauma responses, but what are yours?
My trauma response?
Yeah.
So like what?
Trauma.
Oh, okay.
How do you
Yeah.
react? How do you still like?
Do you get defensive? Do you run away? Do you
Yeah.
laugh? Some
Um,
people laugh in uncomfortable situations. I do that sometimes.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, it's not funny. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
So what's your trauma response?
I try to make a joke out of something. It kind of alleviates the vibe, the
Yeah.
tension, shit like that. Another one would have to be shutting down and not being able to express anything, And it's like I've been working on that to not do it. It's just because of past stuff. They were just so caught up in like how they were feeling that they didn't care like how I felt.
Let's start to get a little positive.
Yeah.
What quality do you love most about yourself? I think for me, physically, what I really like about myself is I really like my eyes. My eye color is just next level. And I feel like that's always like the one thing that like people will either notice about me right away or they'll say something about it. But I think like best quality, I'm a very independent person. I can hang with myself for hours and for days and weeks and months. Like I'm really comfortable being alone. And I think that's like a really good quality to have. Maybe
Yeah.
a little too comfortable being
That shit
alone.
is superpower.
But yeah.
I am an empath. Like, that is my superpower. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I can just look at someone and just feed off emotion. Like, if someone's crying and I don't even know why you're crying, if it feels genuine, I will start crying.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can just feel someone's pain as if it happened to me personally. I feel like that's also another reason why I'm really bad at eye contact, because I'm like, I can only feel so much right now,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to feel what you're feeling to the extent that you're feeling it. I'm overwhelmed really, really easily working with like cancer patients. It hits home too, so it's really hard. Physical, there goes the insecurities that I can't think of. I think I have to sit on that. I'm not sure what I like physically about myself.
I like to include everybody. I really like to make sure that you're present, you're here, you're doing this, you're doing that with us, I've always hated being excluded. I go out of my way to get to know them, see what they're really interested in, and figure out what makes this person tick.
Oh, I like that.
So the thing is, for me, it's like I don't think I really have physical qualities that are like good.
I thought of mine, so think on it.
Yeah.
I was always told that I have like big ass, like luscious lips, and I still want lip fillers, but everyone's like, you don't need it, or like, you know,
Yeah.
or every time I do like a duck face, Kaylee's always like, you're doing like an extra duck face, like
Oh,
your
really?
lips look huge, yeah, and I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, so
Literally, I remember like
Your lips are
we
lipping.
were watching the Little Mermaid movie, and we're sitting in a dark theater. And I look over, and all she has is like clear, like sparkly lip gloss, but her lips just look so like juicy and big and crazy. I was like, "What lip gloss is that?" I was like,
that's why you asked.
I was like, I can see
Oh
that
my
in
God.
the dark. I was like, I can see how big your lips are in the dark.
There's nothing really too much of my body that I'm just like, okay, it stands out so much. I'm just like regular dude, is what I say.
Oh my Brian.
Regular dude.
Okay, let's compliment bomb him right now. I like your hair.
You have nicely shaped eyebrows.
Thank you.
You do not have thin lips.
Your legs are nice.
You can grow facial hair. Not a lot of guys can do that.
Mm-hmm. You have a nice smile.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, that's it.
Well, what do you want me to?
No, no.
You want us to keep going?
No,
I know.
don't
He's
keep
like,
going.
he's like, oh, come on, that's all you got.
Oh, so that's it? Oh.
Ooh, have you ever been a bully?
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know that.
Same.
I know I've been a bitch.
But do
Yeah.
you feel like we were those mean girls at one point because we were the ones being bullied at one point?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I literally was able to process that while I was actively doing it. I knew why I was doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You all used to make fucking fun of me. Now you can't say shit about me, so now I'm going to come for you. Like, that's how
Yeah.
I felt, you know?
Even if it comes from somewhere, like, yeah, it's still not okay.
Yeah, totally.
But it's like, you know, you're young and that's how you let off aggression. Like,
Yeah.
I started making fun of the Asians at one point. Yeah, like, it was ridiculous. Like, I started doing that.
You were,
Like, you know how
like this.
embarrassing?
You were like,
Everybody around you was like,
Yeah.
Katie?
No, literally,
I think there's
was
something
this,
we need to
like-
tell you that you don't know about yourself.
Like, most Asians have really squinty eyes, and I have really big eyes for an Asian. So I was just like, hey, you have small ass eyes. Or there was, like, this Asian kid that I used to, like, follow around school and bark at because I was like, hey, you eat dog. Like, I would bark at him.
fuck.
Katie was
Fucking
making
dog.
Asian jokes. She was making fun of Asians while she was Asian.
Literally.
Literally throw that back at you. Yeah.
No, they do it back at me. I'm like, racist.
Yep.
Fuck you, dog.
But I think I was definitely like a fucking bitch, and I was rude, and I was super judgmental. But I also think that comes from a lot of like the one, immaturity, but two, I think it comes from a lot of the people that I was surrounded by. Middle school, I was really, really mean.
Me too. Middle school,
Like-
I was really fucking mean,
Like
too.
I was a fucking bitch.
I
Like,
finally became that popular Trixie girl, and I took advantage of it. And it's just like, humble yourself, you know?
yeah. For you guys, I feel like it was a lot of like racism that you noticed. I didn't experience any racism, but it was like status money wise. All the popular kids, they were rich and they had plenty of money. You could have been the best person, but it's like, no, you don't have the income for it. So
There was still a hierarchy. This thing happened in 6th grade where I basically pissed my pants. And
Ryan.
in the classroom.
Oh my god.
And so that's what sucks. That's what basically made my like status level just.
So like what? Why?
So initially, the main thing that happened.
Why did you pee your pants?
Let's really back into what happened. So like I said, I was pretty popular. People would always be like trying to talk, but I'm like, fuck, I gotta go pee, you know. And so I was in my homeroom, and I was like, it's almost over. You can wait. It's like 3-4 minutes, whatever. My legs are just fucking shaking. And I'm like, I need to pee. And so I'm standing up, right? I'm talking to my homies, and then while I was in that, and then I'm like standing
Not
at the
homies.
top where the teacher stands and she gives the lessons, right up front. And then all of a sudden, boom, pee starts streaming down my leg. And then one of my homies like, apple juice.
You're like, yeah, oh my god, who spilled that?
Who spilled that?
Ew, it looks like piss, guys. Did somebody pee?
Yeah.
Spilt this on
Whoa.
me, motherfuckers.
Right? Yeah, from there on, basically everybody just kind of knew that I pissed my pants and didn't talk to me anymore.
Have you guys ever seen someone else be bullied and did nothing about it?
So my dad was dating this one chick, and this chick had a younger son. My dad saw him kick my brother in the balls, and I'm like,
Whoa.
he did nothing about it. If my dad doesn't do anything, what can I do?
Aw.
I was just so traumatized. I was scared of this fool
Yeah.
because I was like, he would always like come over and bully my brother, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I couldn't do anything about it because I'm like, my
My
dad
dad
won't
doesn't
even do
care.
anything.
Right.
I guess when I say seen like someone else be bullied and did nothing about it, not like mean girl group. The person being bullied is someone you actually cared about.
Oh no, I will always stick up. Yeah. I'm like, you coming at my homie? I will come for your life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I jumped in a fight for sure.
Yeah.
For my homie.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yep.
I only asked because flipping it the other direction, I used to get bullied a lot in school. And once we got older, Justin like fully admitted to me like I would see it happen all the time, and I would just not do anything about it. That's the reason why I'm so okay with Justin being so protective of me now. He's finally being that person that I wanted him to be when I was younger, and I would rather have him be harsh and care too much about me now than not at all like he used to.
I think this is where maybe my trust issues stem from.
Ooh, did,
Maybe.
did Simps and Pimps find
Maybe.
out Kayla's
The
drama?
connections.
Right. I remember I was so fucking good on the swim team. I remember I was so good. I was so amazing at that sport. I remember the girls on my team, they were a couple years older than me because I already was out swimming my age group. And so I was with these girls and they like immediately pushed me away because they're like, "Oh, this girl is 3-4 years younger than us. What is she doing on our team? She doesn't deserve this spot. She doesn't deserve anything." And I remember I made friends with this one girl. We would swim, blah, 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 whatever. And we would always like race and have competitions. But I remember there was this one girl who's super fucking rude on the team. Like she was an actual bully. Like she was fucking mean. And I remember we had to do a certain amount of laps and I beat her. And she was known to be like the best on the team or blah, 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 whatever.
Damn.
And we were just in like casual warm ups. I remember it was one of the first like practices I had with them. She's like, "You're fucking lying. You didn't do all your laps, blah, blah, blah." And then the coach was like, "Whoa, like, what are you talking about? Calm down. Like, why are you yelling at her?" I was like, "I did do all my laps. I did finish them." And she's like, "There's no way you beat me, blah, 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 blah," and all this stuff. And then I remember we go into the locker room. And so we're all in the shower and she's like, "Let's play a game." And I remember I was standing next to the girl that was my friend and I just wasn't really participating. It was little Sally Walker, you know, where you like walk around, you're like, "Little Sally Walker walks down the street. She didn't know what to do, so she stopped in front of me and said," and then you would like walk around in the circle and then that person would go in front of you and be like, "Hey girl, do your thing," and you would dance. And so you would just find a random person and just go and do it, right? But this girl, she's like, "Let's play it with our eyes closed." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Kaylee, join in. Come on, do it." And I had my eyes closed, but little did I know it was just a huge fucking prank on me because she goes, "Hey, girl, do your thing." She takes her shampoo bottles and she rubs it all over my fucking eyes. And like to where like when they were closed, she's taking the shampoo bottle and she's literally pouring it like not even like a little bit. She's pouring the whole fucking bottle in my eyes. She's like, "You don't deserve to be here and I'll make sure of that." And I remember I looked over to the girl that like was my friend. She didn't say anything. She didn't do anything. She didn't like, she literally did nothing about it. Literally was crying. So I tried to get all the shampoo out of my eyes. They were all fucking laughing at me. I grab my shit and I go out and I'm in my car and I'm like crying to my mom. And I think that was the first time where I was like, damn, even when I thought somebody would have my back, they didn't have my back.
When you're intimidating, people
Yeah.
are just like, how do I bring them down?
Yeah.
Facts.
It's their own insecurity.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right.
Okay, speaking of mean kids, what's a rumor about yourself that you heard that was like 100% not true?
Oh, that I suck dick for free weed. I remember this guy, he smoked weed. I heard that you'll suck my dick for free weed. I got some. I was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "What?" I think I knew who it was. It was this girl in my
Was it your friend?
No, I don't think we were
Okay.
friends. No. I think she overheard a conversation and she heard it wrong.
It's
Girls
always
fucking-
sexual when it comes to the female,
Yeah.
like rumors.
It's always like,
too.
"Oh, she's a whore. Oh, she slept with this person," or whatever.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the rumor was with me. There was this person that I dated in like 6th grade. Like apparently he was going around telling people he like lost his virginity to me, which never happened. And I actually didn't find out until I was like 19 years old. And Kaylee can back that up. But because we lured him to the house, we were like, "Yeah, I'm so down, blah, 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 whatever." So it's like, boom, screenshots looked like I did it. Yeah, so I didn't find out till like
Wow.
years later. Like
That's
years
wild. It's
later.
like, yeah, I got proof. Look at the screenshots.
What are some toxic things that you do or did when you were in a relationship? Because I feel like we talk about being in toxic relationships so much and like the other person doing this, and this to you, but like something toxic that you do and when you're in a relationship or something that you did do.
It can be taken as toxic, but at the same time, it can also not be. I was talking with you, I had a conversation. The way someone treated me was the way that I was going to treat the other person. I never realized that it could be toxic. You feel like regardless of how this person is treating you, you still need to remain the same.
I didn't know I was the one that drilled that into your head.
Because to me, it always felt like if it felt like I'm gonna only give the energy that you're gonna put into.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, the
it's
way
like-
that you were describing it was like, oh, you did me dirty, I'm going to do you dirty too. How I was trying to explain it is like, just because someone else did you dirty doesn't mean you have to do it back. Like, remain a good person because you are a good
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally get, like, give the same energy back, or I'm going to give you the same energy that you're giving me. But energy and, like, being mean to someone or actions or that type of thing is way different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like the get even thing where it's like, oh, you cheat, I'm going to cheat too, and now we're even. Like, no, like, if that's not the type of person you are, just because they did it doesn't mean you get to.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
don't do it in spite of someone.
Right.
Because that's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay authentic to you.
Having to control everything and do everything together is something really toxic about me in my past relationships. Like, tell me when you're leaving somewhere, tell me when you're on your way, tell me when you're here, tell me who was there, when they texted you, at the time they texted you. Like, I need to know. That's something I'm still kind of working on, where I'm like, control freak has to know everything, you know? But also, like, having to do everything together. Like, I'm going to cancel my plan so that we can do this together. Or why didn't you cancel your plan so we can go somewhere together? Like, it's never... we can go off and do our own thing. It's always like, I have to be with you 24/7. And if you don't want to be with me 24/7, you don't love me. So I'll take accountability for that.
I don't know. I think it's hard for me to know much of what my toxic traits are because I feel like mine were reactions to the way that I was treated. And it made me become a toxic person. And I think maybe that's something that I don't want to be. Kind of like what you said, where it's like, I don't want to have a reaction to it. I don't know. I think that's kind of a hard question for me to answer because I haven't been in a lot of long-term relationships.
That's true.
And the one time I was, it was super toxic on his end.
It's that whole, like, you're not crazy, they make you crazy
Yeah.
type of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
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 That was very much the energy.
So we talked about
Deeper.
all this shit from our past and trauma and, like, all this stuff. So if you could appear to your past self, what situation would you appear in and what would you tell yourself? Younger you, it could be you yesterday, it could be, like, any.
That's a tough one because I feel like there's a lot of situations.
There's so many situations.
There's so many
yeah.
situations
I
where I
know.
wish I could like
Yep.
come in and be like, bro.
No, exactly.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why it's like, if you had to choose
Fuck.
one.
Like maybe I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah, that's where I feel like I was finally like conscious. You know, like I had my conscience and I was like actually like a little bit involved when I first came back to the States. And obviously I came back to the States but without my mom. So I wish I could tell myself it's okay to feel that way and that you're going to see your mom again, but just be there for your brother. I wish I would have been there way more. It almost seemed like it was 10 times worse than mine.
Yeah.
You know, because I was so filled with so much emotions already there. I got to take care of myself first. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Losing a
I just love
parent
that
and, like,
I love that
being
feeling to death.
confused and yeah,
Yeah.
of course you love your brother, you know. I think the biggest one for me was when my dad was sick. Not just be there with dad, you know, he's gonna be gone soon. It's mainly because I chose a boy instead, but that just made me spiral down this boy crazy road. Basically every suicide attempt that I've ever tried, it's always been triggered by a boy. You know, choose family first or be there for your dad first, because it just sent me down a spiral of now every single guy in my life controls me. Be you, be independent, be there for your family before you even think about guys. And my dad always told me, he's like, you're gonna grow up one day and be boy crazy. So pretty much it's his fault because he put
Yeah,
that.
he manifested that for you,
Exactly.
and that's
Wow,
not
he's
fair.
dying.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, what the hell?
Literally, he was like, you're gonna grow up and be all boy crazy. You're not gonna think they're gross anymore. And I was always like, I'm always gonna think boys are gross. And then I got older and I was like, holy shit, like I'm not boy crazy, like I'm boy psycho. Like, it's like
psycho.
like holy shit, like I am
Goddamn.
insane. And obviously, that's like not having a male figure in your life, and you seek that from other like guys and that type of thing. But he wasn't even gone yet, and I was already doing that.
Yeah.
So I wish
Yeah.
I could just tell myself to, like, pause. I think I was, like, 14, 15. Maybe I wouldn't have started smoking cigs in the BMW if I, you know.
Yeah. Maybe don't quit the swim team.
Agreed. Yes.
To be honest, yeah.
Never
If
quit
you,
that
if
fucking
you
swim
smacked
team.
her that hard
Yeah.
that she had a poor, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You're like, I'm so fucking good that you got so low that you put soap in my eyes.
Yeah. Like
And I could
that's-
probably still swim laps around you with them in my
Facts.
eyes.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you.
Obviously, things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I can't really find.
while she's thinking on that, when you pictured yourself going back, what did you look like?
oh, I had a business suit. No, I'm just kidding.
You're like, listen, little Brian.
Yeah.
I
Pats on
had,
the head.
had a briefcase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
That's full on suit.
they're the same height.
They're the same height. Listen here, you may not grow, but you will grow up.
Emotionally.
Business casual with a briefcase.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. What did you look like? Like you now?
Oh, I had my red hair, the lashes, I had the long black nails, and I was just like, listen, don't get all boy crazy, because you're going to look like me one day, and you know,
Oh, you're gonna outcrack her?
like you're going to
like a
experience.
crackhead?
You're gonna show up as your most ghetto self and just be like, "Yeah, you see this?
That's
you don't
what
wanna,
happens.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen if you keep doing what you're
Pretend
doing."
to be pregnant too. Like,
Scare your younger self. I think that's what
you
you
better
should've
not
done.
be boy crazy.
Oh, I should have terrified
Yeah,
myself.
you
Yeah.
should-
Yeah,
Definitely
like straight
terrified
terrified.
I did not look like a crackhead. I pulled off the red hair. I pulled
No,
off
I'm
the...
saying
I'm
like the
just
image
saying.
of a crackhead. How it's like, you know how they're coming at you
tweaking.
like
Yeah.
tweaking, like as if you're like trying to scare yourself to death.
You're like,
kinda thing.
I'm this is me. If you don't listen when you're older.
Maybe I would tell myself to stop eating in bed. Like the first time I like really binged hardcore. I think that's that. I think I can't even think of the first time that I really did, but I think that would be something where I would be like, stop trying to isolate yourself when you're eating because it just leads to bad decisions.
Yeah.
I would literally like order a bunch of food and then I would hide most of what I bought like in my purse or like whatever, and then I would carry in the normal bag, and then I would go upstairs and then I would eat the rest of it that I hid. Like I would always like hide my binging from people, and I think
wow.
yeah, I've been really healing that part of myself.
That's good.
Like I've been really trying to be like, that was such a big thing in my life that I didn't even realize that I did. Like I find so much comfort in food. And I was like talking about this with my parents. I only allowed myself to eat one meal a day. And they were like, yeah, but that's not good. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I think it helped me with control with food. I think that was like the biggest thing. When you're like stressed out, you don't need to do that. You don't need to eat yourself to where it's so painful.
Yeah.
I think that would be something that I would go back to and tell myself.
That's a good one.
That's actually that's life changing for sure. Some wise ass words.
All right,
That's
let's
what I
end
would
it
do.
on positivity, though. Compliment bomb each other. I like your hair. I like your hoop. I love your Simps Pimps shirt. I love
Yeah,
your
I love
Simps
all of
Pimps
our
Your
shirt.
Simps Pimps
Simps Pimp
is
shirt.
pimping.
I'm like, I like the eyelashes.
I like your
I like
hair.
your pants.
I like your hair.
I like your hair. I like my hair.
I like everybody's hair.
Everyone look good.
Yeah.
Everyone look really good. I like your eyelashes. I like your
I like your
eyelashes.
shorts today.
I don't like my eyelashes. I don't have eyelashes.
Hey, positivity.
I like my
like your
eyelashes.
I like my eyelash. Everything that we don't hate, we just force scream into the microphone.
Like, we love our bodies. We love our souls. We love our
Yes.
mental. We love
Yes.
ourselves. We love each other. We love
Yes.
you guys.
Amen.
We love everybody and everything, and just realize that most of the time your insecurities that you're worried about, people don't even fucking notice.
Facts.
So,
Yep. Just be a good fucking person, y'all. Peace
and be
out.
a good person. Oh wait, also.
Be a fucking good person.
Yes. Also, I was going to say, if you don't want to like trigger somebody's insecurity, don't ever point out something that they can't fix in the moment. Just
Yeah. That is
like, okay, you can fix your homegirl's hair if it's looking a little crazy, you know, but you can't fix the fact that like all of her eyelash extensions are out.
Hey.
No, I'm not saying you. I was just looking at your lashes and it
Wow.
made me think of just
We're
something.
supposed to be positive here.
No, I
No, but
do
I'm
need a
saying-
feel. I do need a
I know.
feel.
If it's like, if they can fix it in the moment, then that's when you should like critique somebody on something. But if it's not something they can fix in the moment, it is what it is. Just don't even comment.
Say something
Good.
if you're going to help them fix it. Otherwise, it's just judging.
We don't judge.
We don't judge.
All right.
Okay.
Peace out. Good night.
Hey, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs.
I was about to say that.